Hello guys, good afternoon. Welcome to this episode of Go Digits Forex Academy. And today we'll be having top-down analysis using Trendline. Let's write the topic out. So this is what we'll be looking at today. Top-down analysis using Trendline. There's a lot of people are familiar with top-down analysis, but today we'll be looking at how you can effectively use it using trend lines and how you can progressively do your analysis to help you scale. So, without wasting much of our of our time, let's get straight into the video. So, how do you carry out stock analysis? Stock analysis isn't problem. You have to first of all determine what time frame you want to execute your trade on. Right? If you will be taking your trade on 30 minutes or 15-minute time frame, I would advise that you start your top analysis from the daily time frame. You don't need to start from the weekly or the monthly. What you need to focus on is starting from the daily time frame. So what are we looking at on the daily time frame? We want to look at the market direction, the overall market direction within that time frame. So what tool are we going to be using? We'll come all the way here, pick out your rate tool, and now, before we start drawing our lines, we have to first of all understand one concept. And what is the concept all about? The concept is all about whenever you are taking your lines, right? It has to come from a support area or a resistance area. Most people find it difficult to draw their trend lines because they don't know where to start from. What point would hold most of the volume, right? So for you to determine that, you have to understand the area of support or the area of resistance. So from there, you pick up your source point for your trend line. Now looking at this current chart, we don't need all this data, right? Because this is the major data that we're having currently. Am I correct? So you have to select the area of resistance or the area of support in this time frame as at now. So looking at this carefully, we have an area of resistance all the way here, which has broken to become support. Right, this is a flip zone. So, like I said, we don't need all of this data. All you need to focus on is the most recent data that has played out, right? So that we can be able to analyze and forecast where the market is going accurately. So the first step is for you to what? Start from your daily time frame, right? Point one, you start from your daily time frame. So when you're entering from 15 minutes time frame, so the next step is to identify your support or resistance area. Identify the recent support and resistance area. So once you identify the support or resistance area, what do you need to do? That is where you get your source point. Your source point for the trend line. Right? So you need that area for your source point. Right? So let's have class number 3. So after this has been done, what next? Look out your radar. Currently, as you can see, the market is actually um, ranging, but still we proceed with our analysis. So we have this. Now, for you to have a valid trend line, you have to make sure that you have 2 or 3 touches on that line. When you have 2 or 3 touches on that line, it validates the strength of that trend line. So let me have it. Let me write it down for those who are writing the notes. So we have point 4. We have to ensure. that you have two or more touches on the trend line to make it valid, right? You need two or more uh, touch points. So you need two or more touches to make that particular trend line valid, right? To make it valid. Now we have touch points one, two, three, and four, right? For this. Now we've seen that the overall direction of this market is bullish, right? The overall direction is bullish. So what do? We go to the smaller time frame, which is the forex time frame. Now in this forex time frame, what you will need to do first on getting here is to look at the last touch point, right? Look at the last touch point on that trend line. And where is the last touch point? Which is at this point. This is the last touch point. You pick your red line, continue from the last touch point all the way up, ensuring few touches on that line. So as you can see here, we have two two touches here and here and here for the touches, right? So we proceed to the 30-minute time frame or to the 15-minute time frame. So what are you going to do? Just this is the basic concept. Whenever you train your train line, always ensure that by the time you go to the smaller time frame, you continue from the last touch point, then connect it at least 45-degree upwards or downwards to have a continuation. So you can fine tune your line to meet the current touch point in the time frame that you are on. Just like this. Do we get? So where do we start from for this smaller time frame? The last touch point. That was where we started from. And we had touches as well. So what can you do around here? What you can do now is you can convert this to a channel by clicking on it, click on more option and clone it. So when you clone it, you have the same angle, right? So you can just have it this way, right? You can have it this way as your channel. Now you have a channel that you can work with. So after this is done, you can scale down to your 5-minute time frame or your 15-minute time frame to look for an entry. Now let's scale down to 15-minute time frame. Let's look for an entry. Now we see that we are in a bullish momentum, and there is a principle that says you have to trade with a trend, right? Trade with trade with the trend, right? That is you trade with the trend. So if the trend is bullish, you will trade. You'll be looking for bullish opportunities, and if the trend is bearish, you look for sell bearish opportunities, right? So that is what you should do. So now, what are you looking for in your 15-minute time frame? You look for an order block area and a fair value gap area. Now, what makes an order block area um, valid? Let me explain. Another block area is valid when you have a change in market character and you have a fair value gap. So let me put it this way. A valid order block, right, has a coach that is change of character and a head UT. So when you have this as your confidence for your entry, I'm talking about entry points now, right? So you have for you to have a valid order block, right? It has to have a change in market character and an FVG. So as you can see right here, you have a change in character, that is your choke, which is this. Let me change the color to black, which is this, right? So you have your choke already. So this has not given us a valid order block area. So you come here, you mark your order block. So once you've done this, right, this is your order block area. And what confirms this other block area as well? We have displacement, which is this fair value gap here, and this subsequent strong bullish momentum has given us displacement. Now we are very sure that we are in the right position. So what we're going to do next for our entry, you go down to your 5 minute time frame where you want to have your entry. You go to your 5 minute time frame. So these are the options that you have currently. You can either wait for price to return back to this other block, retest this other block, or retest the coach change of market character that we already have here. So this will be your entry. Like I said, you want to trade alongside with the trend, so you can be looking for this entry right here, or you let's clone it quickly. Or pick your entry right here. So either of these ways is where you can pick your entries. So that's the about of the analysis using trendline. But there is still more. Watch out for the part 2 of this video where I'll break it down step by step on other confluences you can actually look forward to. So, but I think when we came early, when price has retested this same trend line, you see that price pulled back. This pullback would have been a very good entry for us. So would have taken an entry right at this moment, right? And target the next high, right? And this just right below the other block. And with this, we've gotten your good profit. You can target 1 to 2 weeks to red ratio. Yeah. So with this, you've gotten a very good trade exactly here. So you can wait for the next opportunity for price to retest this area, right? Then you take your continuation. So you keep on riding with the trend until the trend is exhausted. So that is about top analysis. It's a trend line. I'm going to also show you other ways to use this trend line to take your trade and your entry. Remember, if you're entering your 15-minute time frame or your 5 minute time frame, you start your analysis from the daily time frame and you scale down to this lower time frame. And how do you do this? Find the overall trend in the daily time frame. Pick your continuation of that trend line from the last touch point in your previous higher time frame. So once you do that, you'll be able to keep scaling down until you get to the least time frame. Now, this is my take. For those of you that watched it to the end of this video, you have to stop drawing your trend line from 30 minute time frame so that your trend line will be much more neat and hold volume. There are so many trend lines that people will draw that price will mitigate them and they don't hold any value. But when your trend line is solid from a higher time frame, price will definitely want to respect that trend line. So that's how it works, guys. So see you in the next video. Once again, this is Gold Digits Forex Academy. Make sure you subscribe, you like, and you share this video to your other communities. See you in the next video.